global news update on top accolade news. The headlines: Trump halts student visa appointments. Australia's Conservative coalition reunites after post-election split. New Zealand cuts interest rates again. Putin sets demand for Ukraine peace deal. We'll start with a focus in politics. Trump halts student visa appointments. The Trump administration has ordered U.S. embassies to pause new student visa appointment as it prepares to significantly expand social media screening for applicants. A leaked memo from Secretary of State Marco Rubio directed diplomats to remove unscheduled appointment while stepping up vetting for student and exchange visa seekers. The move followed President Trump's escalating feud with elite universities, which he accuses of promoting left-wing ideologies and anti-Semitism. With Trump already attempting to revoke foreign student access at institutions like Harvard, critics said the new visa restriction could cripple international enrollment and raise concern over free speech and academic freedom. Still in politics, Australia's Conservative coalition reunites after post-election split. Australia's conservative opposition parties, the Liberals and Nationals, have reunited just a week after a post-election split over policy differences. New Liberal leader Susan Ley emphasized unity, saying the coalition is strongest when working together to challenge the ruling Labour government. The split followed a crushing election loss, driven partly by backlash against policies linked to President Trump, with the Liberals dropping just 28 seats in Parliament. Ley also unveiled a new shadow cabinet, signaling a reshuffle aimed at stabilizing the coalition and rebuilding public support. Shifting focus to economy, New Zealand cuts interest rate again. New Zealand's central bank has cut its benchmark interest rate by 25 basis points to 3.25%, signaling a deeper easing cycle ahead of global economic uncertainty. The Reserve Bank of New Zealand cited soft inflation and slowing global demand, particularly from Asia, as key reasons for the cut, marking its sixth consecutive rate reduction. While the decision wasn't unanimous, Governor Christian Oxbee emphasized the bank's readiness to adapt as risks evolve. Economists now expect at least one more cut this year as fragile growth and tight fiscal policy continue to weigh in on the economy. Moving to conflict, Putin sets demand for Ukraine peace deal. Russian President Vladimir Putin is demanding written guarantees from Western leaders, halting NATO expansion and easing sanctions as condition for ending the war in Ukraine, according to Russian sources familiar with ongoing backchannel negotiations. US President Donald Trump, who has expressed frustration with Putin's battlefield tactics, warned the Kremlin is playing with fire but delaying ceasefire talks. While both sides claim interest in peace, Putin insists on Ukraine's neutrality, territorial concessions, and protection for Russian speakers. With battlefield momentum shifting and political rhetoric hardening, hopes for near-term resolution remains uncertain. You're watching the Global News Update on Top Accolade News. Do stay with us. Still to come. Thanks for staying with us. Still in conflict, Macron reaffirms support for two-state solution. French President Emmanuel Macron has reiterated his commitment to a two-state solution to the Israel-Palestinian conflict, signaling a possible shift towards formally recognizing a Palestinian state, a move that could strain ties with Israel. Speaking during a visit to Indonesia, Macron emphasized that peace can only come through political means and announced the upcoming conference on Gaza, co-hosted with Saudi Arabia in New York, aimed at renewing global momentum for the mutual recognition of both Israel and a future Palestinian state. Turning to defense, Trump offers Canada free access to missile defense if it becomes 51st U.S. state. In a bold and controversial move, U.S. President Donald Trump has offered Canada free access to the $175 billion Golden Dome missile defense system, on the condition that it joins the United States as the 51st state. Posted on Truth Social, Trump warned that if Canada chooses to remain independent, participation will cost $61 billion. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney has rebuffed the idea, asserting that Canada's sovereignty is not for sale. The US plan aimed at countering threats from China and Russia has already strained bilateral ties, with Trump's statehood proposal adding new tensions to the mix. In entertainment, former DDA testifies to gunpoint threats. The sex trafficking and racketeering trial of Sean Diddy Combs took a dramatic turn on Tuesday as a former top aide testified that the music mogul threatened to kill her on her first deal and later kidnapped her at gunpoint to help confront rapper Kid Cudi. Capricorn Clark, a former global brand director for Bad Boy Entertainment, told the court Combs forced her into a vehicle and drove to Cudi's house, allegedly vowing to kill Cudi over a relationship with singer Casey Ventura. Clark said Combs later assaulted Ventura and threatened others to stay silent. Combs has pleaded not guilty to all charges, including sex trafficking and racketeering, and faces life in prison if convicted. Now in sports, Carlos Vela retires after a 19-year career with Arsenal. Mexican forward Carlos Vela has officially announced his retirement from professional soccer at the age of 36, capping a 19-year career that spanned top clubs across Europe and the US. Vela, who came through Arsenal's youth rank, made 72 appearances from Mexico and won 2 CONCACAF Gold Cups. In Major League Soccer, he became a legend at Los Angeles FC, leading them to an MLS Cup and setting the league record with 34 goals in a single season. LAFC hailed him as the heartbeat of the club, where he lives as the all-time leader in goals, assists, and appearances. That concludes our global news updates for today. Stay tuned for more global news and developments. Thanks for joining us. I am Ojo-Rumi Okocha. Connect and engage with us on all our social media handles. Do have a wonderful day.